body, mind, and spirit. So he's an inspirational and motivational speaker, and we're very happy to have Dr. Evans here today. So please come and join us.
I'm honored to be here today. This is always a challenge. We learned in medical school that when you put a full meal in anybody's stomach, 2/3 of the blood vascular volume in the body congregates around the stomach to remove the nutrients that have been placed there. That means that the brain is deprived of the necessary blood supply to remain alive, well, and functioning. And that means that after eating a substantial meal, people have a tendency to go to sleep. Some nod, and some just go on off to sleep. Now, during the course of my brief remarks, I noticed some of you nodding, some of you sleeping. At least I will know that it's not the words, it's not my speech, it's the food that's in your stomach, and that, of course, will help me. I want to thank President Young for this opportunity. Also want to introduce Jackie Irick, who is a part of our church. She does great work in our community relations. And yeah. And I really want to give a rousing round of applause for my boss, my wife. We've been married for 52 years, and that's to each other. It's been a real joyous journey. So I bring this with me often. I have here, there are 3 seeds. You can see them. 3 seeds, small seeds. They are apple seeds. I carry them because they remind me of nature, the most productive entity known to mankind. Nature. Nothing is more productive than nature. And with this realization, I wrote a book a few years back. Let me introduce that book to you this way. Just say it to me, just yell it out. What are the leading causes of death? Cancer, prison, accidents, error, old age. Did I hear somebody say teenagers? And look, stress, yes. Next question. What are the leading causes of life? Happiness, love, water, oxygen, family, fun, love, yeah. Now listen, what I want you to notice is this. I ask you, what are the leading causes of death? And immediately you start yelling out cancer, heart disease, stress. There is no hesitation. I ask you, what are the leading causes of life? And you can hear the pregnant pause of silence. Because we don't focus on how do we maximize life. We focus on avoiding death. Therefore, we cannot maximize life by running from death. We should be running to life. And this is our training. This is our training in the medical profession. We get trained to learn what the leading causes of death are, how do we treat them, how do we prevent them, how do we maintain people's life through them, all revolving around death. And essentially, too often, we have a death avoidance existence. When we could really maximize life by focusing in on what are the leading causes of life. This is why I carry around these seeds. What is very, I want you to look real careful, look real close at those seeds. I want you to see if you can, if you look closely, you'll see a tree. You see that tree? Right. So you cut open the apple, which I did. I got 3 seeds out of it. Sometimes they're 4, sometimes they're 5. So you can count the number of seeds in an apple. But you cannot count the number of apples in a seed. What does that say? We can count the number of people in this room, but we cannot count the number of ideas and thoughts and suggestions and improvements and concepts that exist here. It's unlimited, just like these seeds. You plant one seed from an apple, you don't get an apple back, you get a tree. That's an amazing accomplishment of nature. And so in this book, I wrote this book, it's called What Are the Leading Causes of Life? And I look at what I came to reflect on, which is 4 overarching principles of the universe. Number 1, everything in nature works. That's a concept of fullness. Number 2, everything in nature has everything it needs to work. The concept of wholeness. Number 3, everything in nature was made to do work. The concept of purposefulness. And then number 4, everything in nature was made to work at its highest and best through relationship with everything else that nature made. And so we have the concepts of fullness, wholeness, purposefulness, and relatedness. And businesses that practice those or have those inherent in their themes and modes of operation are always successful. There is nothing more successful than the human condition. The key to success is the human connection. The human connection. Human beings we are body, mind, and spirit. And by spirit, we don't mean religious denomination. We mean there's an intangible, invisible, driving force that moves people to do things they've never done, to go places they've never gone, and to last or stay up longer than they've ever been. There's something in us that drives us beyond rationality. There's something in us that drives us beyond muscularity. We have, for example, in the human condition, each one of us has 206 bones, 634 muscles, all of them working together. All of them working together. 206 bones, 634 muscles. Each one of us has a brain that weighs about 3 pounds. It has 100 billion neurons in them. Each neuron is an information processing unit. Each neuron has between 10,000 and 100,000 dendrites, which forge connections called synapses with the other neurons. And the more connected your neurons in your brain, the more effective your brain is. It's an amazing thing. We have a heart in the left central region of our chest. It beats 60 to 70 times a minute, 4,000 times an hour, 100,000 times a day, and it never misses a beat. What else do you do 100,000 times a day and never miss a beat? And guess what? If it missed the beat, you would know it. And if it misses 2, you're gone. 100,000 times a day. It is connected to a series of pipes in our body called blood vessels. One person's blood vessels, if anastomosed, if connected together, would stretch 75,000 to 100,000 miles. The circumference of the earth is 25,000 miles. If we were to anastomose one person's blood vessels, it would stretch around the whole circumference of the earth, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And if all of that is in us, that says that the human condition is unlimited. It is unlimited. Too often we focus on the body and the mind, and the most powerful part of us is our spirit. It's that intangible thing that says, you know what, I'm tired, I've been working 14, 15, 16-hour days for the past 2 weeks, and I just need a break, I need a break. But then the spirit kicks in and says, well, we do have something else to do, and I do need this job, so I'm going into work. Spirit drives people beyond muscularity. It drives people beyond rationality. And that's the inexplicable pioneering spirit. It drives us to go to the edge of the earth and believe that we won't fall off. Spirit does that. And why is that important? That's important because every place, every organization has a spirit. And it's the spirit that drives it. I heard President Young mention some things that drives A&M. It's a family-oriented business. Family, that's a concept. Family is a concept. And it goes beyond biology. But every organization has a spirit. And I often deal with professional sports teams like the New York Giants, and mostly football. New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami, Dolphins, so forth and so on. And one of the things I've learned in dealing with the professional athletes is that you can see when a team is losing by looking at the people on the bench. You can sense whether a team is winning by looking at, forget the score, just look at the team members on the bench and sometimes on the playing field. It's invisible, but yet it's very powerful. It's intangible, and yet it's very present. And all of the athletes and the coaches, they say the same thing. If you can break the spirit of the other team, the victory is yours, regardless of what the score is. Because the spirit is the strongest part of us. The spirit is what keeps us, not only what keeps us going, but what keeps us from giving up. And this is why coaches now get paid so much money. When I used to coach my 2 sons in basketball, I would have stayed coaching if I knew they were going to make as much money as they made today. But they get paid big money because everybody wants to win, everybody is in it to win, but not all coaches win and not all teams win. Some of them have what others want, and they're all playing for the same thing. And until a team gets the spirit of the coach, they never maximize what the coaching is all about. And in the human condition, we make our strongest connections spiritually, not physically, not mentally. We come in different colors, different sizes, different sexes, different shapes. We're all different in that regard. That's surface. But spiritual is internal. And when you make a spiritual connection with somebody, you have really connected with them. And this is why somebody once said, the key to success in life and business is human connection. Human connection. Human connection. We have gone now from an agricultural-based economy to an industrial-based economy to an information and service-based economy to now what is being called an experience-based economy. This concept was first introduced in a book called Future Shock back in 1970 by Alvin Toffler. It was popularized in 1998. Experience-based economy. What is it talking about? It is saying this: there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of businesses that are in the business of delivering service to people. The issue is, how do I distinguish my service from the service that you give? All customers pay for good service. We give our money for good service. That's a given. That's a given. The experience-based economy, however, says that, well, I gave you money, you gave me a service, it's a good service, that's what I paid for. People rave about the extras, and therein lies the experience. So that when I interact with a customer, my challenge would be to have this be an experience, not just an exchange of good service for your money. I want you to have an experience. When you interact with me, when you interact with A&M, you want it to be an experience. And what am I saying? I'm saying that the interchange ought to be remarkable. Somebody ought to walk away from it saying, wow, oh boy. Yeah, and you know what? I bought a helmet, but Jesus, it was an experience. And how do we create that is the challenge. How do we create an experience? Disneyland, Disney World, they talk about the Disney experience. And when people go there, they have an experience. And when people come into your place of business, when you interact with the customer, the challenge today is to make it an experience. How do we do that? By going above and beyond. How else can we distinguish what we do from what somebody else does who is in the same business? Everybody, repeat this after me. Experience. Experience. Yes. You could make sitting at the table, interacting with the people at your table, an experience. Now, experiences can be negative, but then that's not what we're after. Experience-based economy. When people enter our doors, this is what we try to create at Morning Star. When people enter our doors, we want them to have an experience, not just go to a church, not just come to socialize, but have an experience, and we call it the Morning Star experience. So when you come in there, you come in one way, boy, but you go out a different way. You may come in bent over, boy, but when you go out, you have had an experience. That has to be intentional. That has to be on purpose. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. And it's not enough. It's not enough to be satisfied with just exchanging a good service for something that somebody pays for. And let me show you this. Let me point this out to you in a very vivid and direct way. Do this for me. I want you to follow my instruction. Only do what I ask you to do. Am I clear? I heard 3 people. Follow my instruction. Only do what I ask you to do. Am I clear? Yes. Yeah. That's better. Let me say it. I want you to do this for me. Follow my instruction, only do what I ask you to do. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Follow my instruction, only do what I ask you to do. Am I clear?
Yes.
I need feedback. All right, here we go. Would you give any 3 people you wish a high five? Next. Would you give any four people you wish a vigorous handshake?
There we go. Now we're up to 5. So we're going to be running around the room.
Would you give now to anyone you wish 5 people, give 5 people a hug?
Now we're getting a little creepy. This is getting personal. Come on, bring it in. I give up. That's where I draw a line. We only came to buy envelopes. Exactly.
So now, let's process, let's review, let's process. What did I start off by saying? Say it again. So, follow my direction. Do what I ask you to do. That's where we start. What was the first direction? What was the second direction? What was the third? Did I ask you to talk? No. Seriously, did I ask you to talk? No. Did I say anything about talking? Did I in fact not repeat ad nauseum, only do what I asked you to do? Right? Now, listen, this is a metaphor, and not only did you talk, you started laughing, you started talking about what we're going to do after lunch, you got loud, you got unruly, you were all over the place, talking to anybody and everybody, violating the number one rule that I repeated about 7 times. Why? Because it is a metaphor. As we get closer, we start with the high five, we go to the handshake, and then we give the hug. See? As in the human condition, as walls come down, we tend to get closer. And when we get closer, we tend to socialize at a higher level. It's called the human connection. And that's just a visible, physical metaphor for how human beings can come together. But too often we build walls, as opposed to bringing the walls down and bridging the gap. Human connection, the key to success. I cannot stay mad with my wife when we hug, even when I want to. And she often wants to hug me when I'm pissed. And I'll say, no, don't hug me now, don't hug me. Because I know when we hug, that feeling is going to go away. The feeling to get even, the feeling to snap back, the feeling to keep friction going. She has taught me in that regard. That works not only in personal situations, it also works in all life situations. The human connection, the key to success. Nobody starts a business alone, and nobody succeeds alone. And with that, I say, thank you for listening.